Let's talk about New York City FC. To me, Josh Saunders has been lights out good. I mean, I thought this guy was going to be out for a while. The knock he took, if I'm not mistaken, Franco, you could remind me the first game right on the noggin. I thought he was going to be out with a concussion for a while, but this guy at the age of, I think, 34, 35, has been the leader and lights out good for this squad.
Yeah, he's been arguably one of, maybe their best player to this point of the season. He's come up with some big time saves. He fought off that nasty looking head injury in the first game against Orlando, and he's been pretty remarkable. Some people didn't think he was going to do that well. A lot of people had Ryan Mira penned in to be the starter, and that very well may have been the case. But Ryan Mira suffered an injury, and the experience of Josh Saunders has just shown through during this first month or so of the season. He's doing a great job back there. I think he's got 2 or 3 shutouts at this point already. So, he's off to a good start, and I wouldn't expect him to drop off anytime soon.
I mean, Franco, let's be honest. You and I have watched a number of MLS games, you more than I. But when I look at that mid and I look at Mix Diskerud and Ned Grabavoy, I think those two are right now, pretty much a top 5 in the league at those 2 positions. And especially for a first-year club, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For me, New York at this point is in a little better standing than Orlando, just because of the way they've played. They've gotten some goals from David Villa. They just look like a better overall team at this point in the season, but it's early, so things can change. They still also, New York City FC still also has to get Frank Lampard into the mix. He was actually at the last game at Yankee Stadium against Sporting Kansas City. He was in attendance during the international break. Got to see some of his teammates up close and personal and see how things operate at Yankee Stadium. I was told he was also there to look for where he's going to live, where he's going to reside in the New York City area. And I think New York City, for me, I think at this point in the season, they've had their issues. Injuries have kind of taken a toll, but I think that they're going to be a pretty good team, at least until the summer, and then we have to see how Frank Lampard gets integrated into the mix and how that works. But going back to your question about Diskerud and Grabavoy, they've played well. The midfield's been solid for me, and we'll see how much better it can be when Frank Lampard gets there.
Franco, let's talk to you about off the field before we let you go in New York City FC's quest to be the number 1 in that market over the Red Bulls. Have they started to creep little by little and chip away at as much support as they can get away from the Red Bulls to come over there to support New York City FC? What's the buzz around town? Are more New York City FC players getting around to make player appearances? Is there more, words on local media in regards to New York City FC? Tell us.
I won't say it's been little by little, because I'll say it's been pretty noticeable that they've made a pretty big stamp in the market now, whether that's because it's the first year, because they're playing with Yankee Stadium and there's, possible conflict with the Yankees and how the turf will play. Whatever the reason is, there's higher interest in New York City FC right now than there is in the Red Bulls. And part of that's because the Red Bulls don't have, a star player, like they have had in the past few years, whether it was Thierry Henry or Tim Cahill. They just don't have that right now. But, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. You go to the press box at Yankee Stadium and you see, major newspaper outlets there. Whereas the Red Bulls in the past, it hasn't really been the case, and definitely not on a consistent basis. However, I'll say that the Red Bulls home game, they're only won against DC so far. There were some outlets that don't traditionally come out that were in attendance. Whether that remains is to be seen. But for me, New York City FC has the buzz. It's gotten the people's attention, as you can see by the fans and by the crowd, and it's been pretty impressive, to say the least, especially in a market where there's so many sports and so many teams, so many options. So it's been surprising, but in a good way. So I definitely think they've gotten a strong hold, and now it's up to them to keep that.